Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Day Trade with Tony. It is the day trading channel, all about trading equities, not Forex, not futures, not options. It's stocks and shares. That's what we're about. And it is the last day of the month. April was a good month. March was a great month, but April was a good month. And 28th of April today, Friday the 28th. So it's the last day, last trading day of the month. Of course, we've got a couple more days left over the weekend, but Monday is all new. It's a new month and a new start and a new challenge, which I'll get to in just a second. So what's happened today? So after yesterday, where I had my best day ever,
it's the best day,
and we managed to make not only get recover the drawdown from earlier in the week, but we smashed the drawdown. We made a month's goal in a single day. So top financial moved up, and it moved up a huge amount. So we traded, it moved up like 260%. By the time it had finished after hours, it went up to $260. I started trading it at like $9. It went up to $260. And I tried to get in after hours. I've traded Amazon. I tried to get in after hours, and unfortunately, I tried to get in at $50, but my trading permissions had already ceased, so I was unable to get in at $50. And I'm kind of kicking myself because I was trying to get in with 5,000 shares at $50. And if I'd managed to do that, it opened today over $100. So I would have been sat here with huge amounts of money. But it didn't. But we still traded top financial today anyway. In fact, we've traded 6 stocks today. We've had 4 winners, 2 losers, and we've had our best month ever. So we had our best day ever yesterday. We had our best trade ever yesterday. We're just all about breaking those records. So we've had our best month ever. We've finished strong. The last 2 days came strong. We finished really, really strong. And we've had a $46,463 day today. We managed almost $24,000 on top financial. And we went in with 500 shares. That's all, 500 shares. And we took half of that position off. So we ended up with 250 shares. And we still made $24,000 trading that. We lost $15,000, just up $15,500 trading a recent IPO, TCJH. And we lost almost $6,000 on AGBA at the bar, as I was calling it. But we made 6,000 on CX apps, or CXAI, at just over 6,000 actually. We made 6,450 on Magic Empire Global. That was the first thing we traded. So we traded Magic Empire Global. We got over goal of 6,450. That was pre-market. That was before anything happened. There was a few kind of technical glitches with the platform, the brokerage, which was sorted out pretty much coming into the open. And then later in the day, we traded HUDI. And HUDI has moved up huge amounts today. It's gone up from being a $3 stock up to $15. And I mean, it's just immense. Now, I got in for the break of, as it was testing $9. I got in just before $9. And I was able to ride that up pretty much all the way, give or take. I mean, getting in and out, getting stopped out a couple of times, but then re-entering as it made new moves up. And all the way up to over $14 was where I ended up getting out. So huge move, $6 move. And I was going in, let's say, 5,000 shares. Some points I was like 10,000 shares doubled up. I think I'm max size of like 15,000 shares at one stage. But huge amounts. It went up over 300-400% on the course of the day today. It went up 445% today. So huge amounts. So I was talking when I was streaming live earlier. I was talking about the difference between going long and going short. And some people find shorting stocks a little bit easier because the move down tends to be, once it starts in that downwards trend, tends to be a little bit, fear is a stronger emotion than greed. So the moves downward tend to be a bit more reliable. However, the max that you're ever going to get when you short something is 100% move. It can't go lower than zero. So from where you are to zero is 100% loss. So barring leverage, the most you're going to get is on the equity position in the trade is 100% if it goes to zero. Now, most stocks are not going to go to zero. So you're looking at 50, 60, 90% at the top end. Whereas going long, the gains are, unlimited depending on the moves. So Top Financial went up over 3,000% to its peak based on Wednesday's closing price, and this, as I say, nearly 445% up on the day on this one. So you're not going to get that shorting it, but some people like to short it. And of course, shorting stocks, you've got other issues around short sale restrictions, hard to borrow, borrow costs, locate fees, etc. So going long on a stock is much simpler, it's much easier, and the potential for gains is much bigger. And the potential for loss is capped at 100%. So there you go. So let's take a look at what we've traded today, and we'll go through it. We'll just do a kind of a quick summary of what we've traded, and I will show you across the board. So first thing we traded was pre-market, and it was Magic Empire Global. Magic Empire Global started to move up, so I got some of this move here, and pretty much out at the top. I actually doubled down. I was in for 5,000 shares, and I went up to 10,000 shares at $6. As it pulled back, I was already over $6,000 up. As it pulled back, and I had unrealized about $7,500. And I doubled up at the top, and as it pulled back, I got out for just over break even, and finished over goal, so $6,500. So that was Magic Empire Global. This quick move up, very big move up from kind of just over $3 up to $6, a whole $3 move. So yeah, 5,000 shares. That move up, I was close to 15,000 unrealized. I had 6,000 that I'd locked in, and then I doubled up at the top and gave it pretty much half of that back. So that's what happens sometimes when you're trading. Then I traded. What did I trade after Magic Empire Global? I traded TCJH, and I gave. This was after the bell. Right after the bell, so that's here. So I got in for it as this moved up, and I doubled down, and it pulled back and flushed down and stopped me out, and I wasn't great for me. So then I tried to get in again here as it moved up, and it pulled back again, and I ended up losing 15,000 across the two moves. So not great trading on that. And I was thinking that because I had a poor day last Friday, and I had a poor day, another poor day, or very poor day on Monday. I started badly on Tuesday, but I'd taken a mental hit, and confidence was low up until yesterday. And then I lost on this one, and it wiped out what I'd already made on Magic Empire Global, and plus interest. But then I was looking for something else to trade, and we traded AGBA. So I think that was the next. No, CXAI was the next one. So we made $6,000 back on CXAI as this moved up. We got the pullback, and then we moved up, and we managed to make a nice return on this. Traded it in two places. Traded it here, and then as it pulled back, and then moved up again, I traded it. It's very choppy. Wasn't easy to trade. The spreads were wicked hard, and it was. I probably had to take a little bit wider risk than I would have liked with CX app, but it paid off. So we ended up $6,000 up with CX app. So we started off, I think we made about $500-600 on CX app, and then we traded AGBA, and then we came back and traded CX app later. So when we traded AGBA, so this moved up into a halt, moved up again into another halt, and then gapped up. I got in up at the top end here, and it flushed back down, hard flush down, and I got out before it halted. Got out at the VWAP before it halted, and then it halted down and just sold off. So it was, again, very, very choppy. Lost $6,000 on that whole dollar move, whole dollar flush, and I didn't have a stop in place. So that's my own fault for not using stops. You've got to be quick with your hotkeys. If you're trying to use, if you're not using stops and trying to use mental stops, you've got to be quick with your hotkeys when you're trading volatile stocks. And this was a very volatile stock, as you can see with the volatility halts and the big flushes in both directions, the big moves in both directions. So after AGBA, we traded TCGH this second time here. So that's where we lost a little bit there. Then we traded CXAI, where we made the rest of CXAI. Then we traded top. Now this was great. Very, very easy trade. Risky, but an easy trade. I went in for 500 shares. So this has been an absolute nightmare all day. So I got in, it was 155, so it would have been here on this candle. So I got in here for 500 shares, and then I was able to ride that up as this pulled back and then made another move back up. I took half off, so I had 250 shares left, and it went into a halt, then gapped up, into another halt, gapped up again, and I put a trailing stop in place. As it pulled back, I got stopped out. Now it did have a little bit of a bounce, and then a little bit of a move later in the day, but I wasn't going to trade it. It was just risky to trade, even with only small size. So 250, just the range on it was huge. I mean, we're looking at one stage $7 average true range on the 1 minute chart. So huge amounts. It moved up, from it kind of double topped at, so if we look at this from where we were yesterday, this was the coming up after hours yesterday. It moved all the way up, so it kind of double topped there, which is why I put a stop in place up here, because I felt that okay, it was rejected up here at 260 post market yesterday. For it to get over there, great. If it does, then that's fine. I'll carry on riding it up. But if it doesn't, I want the stop in place. So that's why I got stopped out there. But yeah, it was a strange old, The liquidity was a lot less today. From when I traded it yesterday, I guess people were just who bought shares yesterday were still holding on to them. So the spreads were huge, but the range was much bigger. As I say, at one stage, it was like $7.40, I think, on the average true range across the 1 minute chart. And that in itself, it just screams opportunity. But you don't want to be trying to go in with larger size. You've got to manage your risk as well. So I was prepared to say, okay, well, $7 average true range, I'm going to take a $10 risk. I'm going for 5 shares. I'm risking $5,000. And that was pretty much on point. And I think I went down to about $4,500 in the red unrealized before it then moved back up whilst I had 500 shares. And then as it moved back up, I took half of the position off for, I think it was about $4,500 in profit, and rolled the rest up. And I rolled the rest up with 250 shares. And made $19,000 on it. So huge moves. It moved, I think, across the course of from when I got in at $56 up to the peak was well, when I got out was about $78. So it was probably even more than that. It was probably $100 or more from the peak and where I got in. $156 to, I think the peak was $256. So yeah, $100 move. Unbelievable. absolutely unbelievable. It was just one of, and it wasn't moving up on a strong news catalyst, a company specific news catalyst. It's not a huge, it's only 5 million in the float as well, so it's not a huge float, so it's a very small float, but the moves were just humongous. They really were. So after top, we then traded HUDI, and this was the only thing we traded for the rest of the day. As you can see here, go to lunchtime, had this move up, so I was able to get a little bit of that. And as it pulled back, I got stopped out, but then it moved up there. I didn't get this move, but when it moved up, it pulled back towards the VWAP, and then as it started to make its move up, I called it out in the Discord as well. So look, it's looking to break highs. It's testing $9, so I got in there, and I was able to ride that up from below $9. No, actually, it was $8.94 when I got in on this move. I was in from $7 on this move, and then I got $8.94 on this move up, and it moved up, and it continued to move up all the way up to a high of $14.83. Now I didn't trade it all the way up. I got $14.18 was my highest exit, so not far off, but again, huge move, and almost 450% on the day. So volatility is back. Now I was already over goal, substantially over goal, with Top and Magic Empire and all of this, and I didn't really need to trade HUDI, but when volatility's in, why not take advantage? We've got volatility in the market at the moment in spades, and it's worth taking advantage of that, because with volatility comes opportunity. As day traders, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for volatility, but we want it to be underpinned by volume. So I was talking on the live streaming earlier, the live session this morning, and I was talking about the similarities between Top Financial and its move up to 260 and last year's HKD, so AMTD Digital Group. HKD was the ticker, and that moved up. Actually, that moved up even more, because that was like 10,000% or something, as opposed to the 3,000%. And I was talking about the similarities. The big difference was the volume. So with Top Financial, not only were the moves volatile, they were underpinned by volume, and that's what we're looking for as day traders. Opportunity comes from volatility, but the volatile moves are made reliable for us as breakout traders, as momentum traders, as day traders, pattern day traders. The moves are made reliable by the volume that's underpinning them. So if we've got good volume, and it doesn't have to be huge volume, it just has to be relatively good volume. So it has to be significantly higher than what it normally trades on any given average day. So that's where I was today. That's what I've been doing all day, and that's essentially my April done. So what does that look like now? And let's look at the year to date, and let's look at April as we head into May, and then I'll talk about the new challenge. So you can see here, we've had a couple of red days, 3 red days. We had 3 red days in March as well. So we kind of equal that, but we've actually bettered the overall results of March. So 46,000 today, 132. I think this might potentially, because I've got that, it still might be one of my better weeks of trading. If I hadn't had that big drawdown on Monday, it certainly would have been my best ever week of trading. But yesterday was just phenomenal anyway. So let's look at the overall reports, the details of the reports here. I just want to kind of go back to the days and times so we can see here where we're actually at. So my best ever month was March, and that's why I carried on trading, because I could see it. I could see it there. It was there. It was kind of gnawing on me with my OCD. $245,000 was my best ever month last month in March by a long stretch. January was my best month before that. and before that it was like 168, 167 from last summer. So I'm having continually better months, and that's great. So I didn't think I was going to get anywhere near this after Monday, after Tuesday. I didn't think I was going to get anywhere near this month, and I wouldn't have done but for Top Financial yesterday. 245,000 was my best ever month last month, and we've knocked it on the head by an extra $1,000. I've had 246 this month. There's a $500,000 gross profit across 2 months there. So if I look at the year to date, we've absolutely smashed the year to date. So just put it into context. 4th month of the year, goal is gross 120 per month. So I should be at 480 pro rata. Should be at 480 for the year now at the end of April. We just finished April, and we're almost double that. If I'm certainly 1.5 times that. So 724. The net numbers as well, so are significantly above where we're supposed to be net as well. Over 600,000 in net profits as well. Year to date, $9,000 per day average in terms of every trading day. That's 1.5 times what it should be. So as I say, pro rata 1.5 times. Just a little over 1.5 times. So K ratio for the year, 3.8. That's great, but I'll come back to that in just a second. Win-loss expectation. I'm still losing on Mondays, but Fridays, Thursdays are by far my best day. I'm not surprised after yesterday. I'm looking at just the statistics as a whole, but absolutely smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. Let's look at April just on its own, and where we actually are in comparison to the overall number. So 250,000 in a single month. That's double. It's more than double goal. So 2 months running, I've had more than double my monthly goal. So just phenomenal results across these last 2 months, and 2 to 1 in terms of accuracy. Based on 65% of my trades are profitable, 33% of my trades are not. So it works out approximately 2 to 1. My K ratio still not where it needs to be. That was never going to be the case. It's better than it was yesterday, but because I've traded better than I did yesterday. But yeah, I mean, the probability of a random chance is probably a little bit weird there. So overall, win-loss expectation. This drawdown, I thought I wasn't going to recover from this month, and we absolutely not just smashed it, but it's almost parabolic. My equity curve is almost parabolic there. So yeah, that's where we are. So based on where we are year to date, we're 1.5 times goal. We're more than where we need to be. We've got a good 2 months cushion on the year. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of a step back, not too much. I still might trade, but I'm going to concentrate on the new challenge. So I've been constantly, I would say, asked. I think nagged is a better description about do the small account challenge again. Do the small account challenge. I did a small account. For those of you who are new to this channel, I did what's known as a small account challenge, and it is a challenge to grow a small account. So I did small account challenge in January. We started on the 17th of January with $2,500, just under $2,500 actually. And we managed to grow that to over $30,000 over the course of 10 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever it was. So 2.5 months, up until the end of March. So what people have been telling me is that they want to see a real small account challenge. Do it without leverage. Do it with like less than $1,000. Do it with like pocket money. And the smallest account that I can take is $350. with the broker that I'm using. So the smallest account I can have is $350. But with $350, I wouldn't get any leverage. And if I took a $350 account, as soon as I took a position, if it went negative, I would get stopped out because that's the minimum equity that they require in the account. So realistically, the smallest that I could realistically take is about $500. That also coincides with the policies, the margin and leverage policies of the broker, that they won't grant any leverage or margin leverage on any equity position less than $500. I've been thinking about this whole month, and trading as aggressively as I have been, and trading with the sizing that I've been trading, whilst it's been profitable for me, clearly, I've just gone through the numbers, it's been extremely stressful and it's been mentally taxing. So, and I've really felt it, particularly this last week. So I'm taking a little bit of a step back from that, and I'm going back to basics, and I'm taking a challenge. I want it to be a challenge. I don't want it to be easy. So I want to thrive on this challenge. So I'm going to be starting Monday, going into the weekend. I've got half a bottle of wine to finish, but I'm going into the weekend and I'm getting ready for Monday. We're going to be starting Monday with $500. So I've got $500 in the account. We've got up to 6 times leverage. So maximum to start off with, a maximum of $3,000 in terms of buying power, but that depends on the stock as well. If it's less than $5 in share price, no leverage. Depending on the risk factor of the stock, there may be no leverage. There may be a margin requirement higher than 100%. So there's a number of different factors that I've got to take into consideration before I even take a trade, because the biggest problem I'm going to face with a $500 account is fees and charges. If I take a position, let's just say I take a $5 stock, so I can get leverage on it, $5 stock, and I take 500 shares. So I will be able to get leverage on a $5 stock, so I'll take 500 shares. If I then lose $10 on that, realized a loss of $10, I'll lose my leverage because I go below. I have a drawdown below that 500 threshold. If I lose $150, I get liquidated. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy. I think I saw one YouTuber try this and success. I've seen a few YouTubers try it miserably and fail. I've never tried one this low before because the fees and commissions are difficult to bypass. But I'm going to try it. So come join me on Monday. We'll be trading from an hour before the market opens live. If there's opportunity, I'm not going to pass it up, but we'll be streaming live an hour before the market opens, so 8:30 market time. That's 1:30 p.m. where I'm based here in Ireland. Come join me then. We're going to have a lot of fun this next month if I don't blow up my account. So there's a very realistic possibility that you'll see me blowing up this small account. I've just got to be very patient and not as aggressive as I am with my larger account. Otherwise, I absolutely, definitely will blow it up. It's that simple. So trading as I teach to trade rather than as I do it. So you hear me when I'm streaming live, do as I say, not as I do. I've got to do as I say for the duration of this challenge. What's the goal? What is the goal? Well, I'm looking to get $15,000. So it's the challenge to get from 500 to 15,000 as quickly as possible. Now that means that normally you would take a trade a day. One trade is kind of the small account way. But if there's opportunity, if there's volatility in the market and there's opportunity, I might take more. But I'm not going to be taking trades willy-nilly. They have to be A+ setups. Once I've got a decent amount of equity in the account, maybe $2,500 to $5,000 in the account, then I can be a bit more aggressive and start taking larger size and taking being a bit more risky with the setups that I'm taking. But the first week or two, it's going to be A+ setups only. So come join me Monday. We're going to be doing a brand new challenge. It's the micro account challenge, as I'm going to call it, the 500 to 15k challenge, and we'll see if is it possible. I don't know if it's possible. I might blow the account up. We'll see. Come join me and we'll do it all together. I'll see you there. Enjoy your weekend. Speak soon.